Welcome to Book Date with You, the platform where we recommend the best book to you. Today is episode 119, and we are going to continue with this book, Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. And today is part two of this book. Last session, we have part one. So we're going to continue with this book. Joyce?
Yes, thank you, Gideon. And last episode we mentioned about a lot of time the difference between thoughts and thinking and why we don't want to believe everything that we think. So this episode I will bring out to you four very very key chapters in the book. So the first chapter is about this: how can we possibly thrive in a world without thinking? So you will there's a one quote by James Clear. So if you still remember who is James Clear, is the author of the very famous book Atomic Habit. And he mentioned about this sentence, this quote is about this. Anxiety is thought without control. Flow is control without thought. So it is so much important to know that when you are loving what you do so much and are completely engrossed in it, and you lose all the sense of time and space, aka you are actually in a state of the complete flow. So what thoughts are going through your mind as you are in a state of flow in the moment? That is what I meant. So, Gideon, I want to ask you about this. Have you ever been in the state of flow? And what is your experience about that? And how do you feel?
Um, Going about the state of flow, I think Joyce didn't know I also did urban sketching on the roadside. I mean, doing drawing on the roadside. So when I'm doing the sketching, sometimes you are so focused that you forget about your surroundings, the mosquito around you, or the stray cats, or the people standing watching you. So yeah, so I'm kind of just focused on drawing, sketching until you finish, and then you just realize, oh, there's so many big things around you.
Sure that you really can ignore the mosquito around you? I mean, like, the mosquito can.
Yeah, after that you will discover you get so many bites on your legs. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Wow. Okay, I must go together with you to see how you do your sketch in the early morning. So this is something really, what Gideon just described to you is like his best work. You know, Joseph, the author of this book, he mentioned that this one, when you are doing your best work and are in a total state of flow, where there is no separation between you or the work that you are doing, you are having no thoughts in the moment. You are just so into that. Like just now, Gideon said when he go for his sketch, that time he's really totally in the moment, in the flow. And if you are having thoughts, it's just flowing right through you without you having to think about it. In other words, the state of the peak performance for humans can be described as a state of non-thinking. Remember, we mentioned about non-thinking in the previous episode. So it may seem crazy to you, but if we doing our best work when we are not thinking and you are just prove it with your own experience, a lot of time you will only know it when you experience it before. Like Gideon, you mentioned about your sketch. I believe it so much because it is like you are combining your best work and also your heart, your soul, and your mind, everything, and you are not thinking. This is in the state of non-thinking. So without thinking, we are actually free from the limitation of the ego and are able to create the most incredible things in the world. So if any one of you haven't checked out Gideon's sketch, that you should check out his sketch. I love it so much. And we were going to post one example in the comment section below for you to see his sketch. See his most
All right.
recent sketch. Yeah, so it composed a lot of like buildings, plants, um, and also a lot of scenery. I love it, especially the building, the heritage building in the state that we stay here together is in Penang, Malaysia, right here. So the second part I want to bring to you is about this. Nothing is either good or bad. Nothing is either good or bad. So there is one quote by William Shakespeare. He mentioned about this. Nothing, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So your thinking actually makes you differentiate the good and the bad. So when we put things into the bucket of right or wrong, good or bad, it creates a duality and conditions in our lives. So which determines how we feel. So this is exactly what it meant by nothing is good or bad. So the only place that you can find is deep within your being. So don't try to go looking outside of you. So if you try to look the answer outside and try to dig into the external reasons for the root of why you feel this way, you will looking for the rest of the eternity and you will never find it. And I can tell you from my own experience, it is so resonant when it comes to, especially last year, I continuously go and find reason why I feel like this, why I feel like that. And I tell you, I never find. Well, I use about 18 months to find the answer, which I never find. And I only get the answer within myself. So the negative emotions is an indication of a misunderstanding. From the book, I really like this sentence when you mentioned that when we are gripped by the negative emotions, it means that we believe what we are thinking. It is in the moment that we simply forgot where our experience come from and that our thinking is the cause of our negative emotions. So remember that thinking is the root cause of how we are feeling. Thinking is the root cause of how we are feeling. So once this is brought into your awareness, if you're aware this, then don't fight with the thinking. If you're aware of, yes, now you're thinking, don't fight it. So just become aware, yes, and it is your thinking that caused that all the ill feelings that you have, and then welcome it with love, and it will slowly dissipate before your eyes. This needs our experience and also our practice to do it instead of just saying it out loud, right? So next I want to bring to you is about another chapter, talk about how to follow your intuition. How to follow your intuition. Have no there's one quote by Steve Jobs. Have the courage to follow your heart intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. So the late Steve Jobs tell everyone about this. This so there's quote from this book. Joseph write that the state of flow is a state of pure oneness and a direct connection to everything around us. The state of non-thinking is also means that direct connection to the infinite intelligence. I want to bring this infinite intelligence is because we can only see the reality in the present moment and when we are actively thinking. It means that we are either in the past or in the present. Sorry, in the past or in the future. So it means that you are not in the present moment, which past or future, it does not exist here. So only in the present moment that we can actually find the truth we found. So when you are following your intuition, it means that you are trusting yourself. Trust yourself so fully and having the faith that you always have the inner wisdom necessary to help guide you through everything in your life. This is the state of non-thinking, or we say it's in the flow. So I want to ask you this one. I think um like when we talk about follow intuition so much, and Gideon, maybe you can let us know also, like why don't more people listen to their intuition if they always knows what to do? Like our intuition actually always know what to do and know like it will create the abundance whenever it is followed. But why still a lot of people do not want to listen to their intuition?
Mm, I guess it may due to the fear, but the fear of a lot of things.
Yes, humans, we all fear of unknown, right? A lot of time we have this fear of unknown, and listening to our intuition can be so scary and daunting. A lot of times it's because our intuition lives in the space of this unknown. Like just now Gideon mentioned about the fear, right? So we human, we have a lot of this fear, especially comes to the unknown. So in other words, our intuition is a spiritual and operates in the field of infinite possibilities, which is by nature in the field of unknown. So we are human, always fear of unknown. This is very common. And because we want to predict what might happen, this is very common human behavior. So I also want to bring you to this part when we mention about let us explore if the concept of this one practical bring to us every day when it comes to what does following your intuition and inner wisdom look like, and how can we do it? So, Joseph mentioned in this book, when you are following your intuition, you'll completely tap into something greater than your personal self. You are in the state of non-thinking, which is the flow, and a direct connect with God. In if you mention about God, it's like how at your own terms. It's like whether it's the universe or your higher power or God that you believe in. In this state, you always know that you need to do without thinking and are guided by the infinite intelligence. So it is true that we cannot control everything that happens in our lives. We definitely cannot. But what we can control is whether we think or not, whether we think or not thinking. So, which we know that the root cause of all our problems and the negative emotions is of our thinking. So, I want to highlight this one is when we have the divine thoughts from an infinite intelligence, there is a sense of knowingness in it. This is a sense of knowingness. You know that when you have this deep knowing inside you, you know that, yes, this is the truth, and you know deep down in you it is right. So I want to ask Gideon a question, and definitely this question is from the book. Have you ever have a gut feeling to do something, or that you have no logical reasoning as to why you want to do it and you did it anyway, and that's after you do it, like amazing things happen? So do you have this experience, and maybe you can share with us how do you feel along the journey?
Um, yeah, but I think still there's some thinking. I mean, logical thinking, and like in my career, I've changed role many times. I remember one time changing role from engineer to program manager. Is a leap of faith that the intuition that I can take the role and I will solve all the challenges. Yeah, when you switch of role, change of role, and the role is quite different from the previous one. Yeah, it needs a lot of faith. Yeah, intuition.
Yeah, but right after you change your role, right, you just did it, and how the things comes after that? Is it a good flow? Is it
Just a good feeling. Like I
yeah,
I glad I take it. Yeah, and
love it.
it's just a challenge of life. Yeah.
This is also intuition as well. You know, I mean, I understand that just now you mentioned about you're actually using some part of logical thinking as well. So we are human. It's so commonly we're conditioned using our mind to think, especially like us. It's like we love to plan ahead of time, a lot of things, and that's why tapping into the intuition can definitely help us to make a better decision. So I also want to carry out this part before we end the session. It's about this one. It's how do you know what to do without thinking? There is one sentence by Albert Einstein, quoted by this book. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. A lot of time, I mean, in the very, I mean, our education, our society, our circumstances around us, environment really condition us to think a lot, use our mind a lot without actually tap into our intuition. And knowing that there is no right or wrong actually relieves us from quite a bit of pressure to choose the right one. There is no right or wrong. It's which one is a better choice at that particular moment. So what we do is try to confirm our intuition with the external world, and this is where most of the negative emotions begins to surface and create this havoc in our mental state because of everyone's opinion, because we are influenced by a lot of external factors. Your intuition will always lead you to where you need to go and you should do at the moment in the time. It's like a real time inner GPS that you have in you, and that will tell you that when to take the detour or which path you should take if there is a blockage in the road to your destination. That is your intuition. So trust your own intuition and your inner wisdom. So it has always and will always be there for you when you need it, as long as you trust that it will. Okay, this is a part from the book. A lot of people ask me, how do you able to listen to your intuition? I would see that a lot of time is we want to cut off the noise from the external world. We have too many noise, in the external world. So we want to really tune up to the external voice, external noise, and tune in to our inner voice, our inner wisdom. That is the part that you can only listen. The only time that you can listen is after you actually cut off all the noise outside. Some things I really tap into, especially this half of the year, into helping me to do what I'm doing every single day. So I hope that this episode give you some aha moment to really listen more to your inner wisdom, that how it guides you through everything you do in your life. And see you in the next episode. And I would say that possible is the next episode is 2025 in a very good new year. And see you in the next year.